What's going on, you loyal listeners? Thank you for tuning in to the L Squared Podcast. I'm your host here, Luke Larson, and joining me today, as per the usual, my lovely and loquacious special guest who will be assisting me in leisurely launching you into levity old legs.
Today, we're going fast. We're going fast, baby. We're back. We're flying into the new year here. We're breaking new ground. We are taking on the Italian L Squared rival podcast from overseas. We are the little engine that could. We don't know shit about podcasting, but we're gonna fucking beat the doors off them at the next Le Mans. How you doing, buddy? We're gonna talk a little Ford v Ferrari today. Is that right?
Yeah, a little Ford v Ferrari. You know, it's getting into that season. This is the best time of year for that's. Yeah, it wasn't good. The best time of year for us movie fans. You know, this is when all the good shit comes out, all the good Oscar movies, and you know, it's really, you know, the movie season's really starting to rev its engine.
Especially for us less fortunate folk who live out in bumfuck nowhere and have to wait for stuff to come to streaming. Yeah, and even you know, some of us who saw that a premiere was going to come out, drove 4.5 hours to go see it, and then once I got there, realized that it wasn't actually going to be premiering until the next week. Incredible.
So that was a thing I did, and I still haven't seen it. I never got back out there because my life sucks.
Yeah, you know, and we've done this in the past. Luke and I have both traveled great distances to see films that weren't even good. Yeah. So
Alien Covenant, we drove like 3.5 hours. We did a double feature of Alien Covenant and Dune, and we drove all that way.
Yes.
And you and I fell asleep at different points during.
Was that a thing where my excitement for something kind of overshadowed our decision-making process?
100%.
Because I feel like sometimes if I like speak loudly enough, I can get my way.
Yeah.
I don't have to actually really make sense. And so I feel like looking back, that may or may not have been one of those times.
Well, I'm glad you're taking
Covenant. I have no idea why either of us were excited for that.
Well, I think that we were kind of like drinking the Kool-Aid of like we both liked Prometheus and everybody hated it except for like a few of us people.
Yeah.
And we were both kind of like, it's aged really well. And so like, well, maybe.
It has.
Yeah, it's still
aging. Well,
so we were like, well, like
throw it on and pause the podcast. Go watch it. I dare you.
Don't listen to this, guys. You don't want to hear this. So that was weird. And I'm the reasonable one, as the loyal listeners know. And I make my sound points.
That's your role.
And that's my role. And I
play the straight man.
I play the straight man. I'm a calming influence, but sometimes...
You're an important part of the bank heist.
Thank you.
There's not much of a plan without the steady hand guiding you.
Yep, that's right.
Throughout.
But you're the Patrick Swayze of the whole thing.
I'm the guy that you know he's a liability going in. I have some sort of talent that you may or not need. Like might be like the bank, like you know he knows the codes, or
right? Yeah,
some shit like that. But you're like 60% sure he may or may not kill a civilian just because he's just kind of a fucking loose cannon and maybe he wants to deep down.
Wild card, bitches.
I am condoning violence or that I would ever do that. But
put that tag on there. That's good.
the old wild card.
Yeah,
certainly not the driver. Which
hey, very nice.
A couple of candidates for what would be a great getaway driver here.
Very nice
with some Ford v Ferrari action. So yeah, how about you? Let's get into it here.
So as always, the IMDb plot synopsis for Ford
I love that
v
this
Ferrari.
is a part of the podcast now. I kind of cringe, but the first couple of times you did this, but now I'm glad you have it up.
Yeah, well, it works. It's a good way to start because you're like, oh yeah, that is what it was about. But the IMDb plot synopsis is American car designer Carroll Shelby. What?
Is there a plot? Is there a spelling error in this?
Zwingli? American car designer Carroll Shelby wins Zwingli. That does not make sense.
No, that's not even the one I'm looking at.
Oh, well, maybe.
Next line.
And driver Ken Miles battle corporate. Wow. IMDb, fix your site.
That was the one I was looking at.
No, but look at Zwingli before that. Shelby wins Zwingli? That doesn't make any sense. And battles corporate Zvirance. Okay, I'm going to restart this, guys.
I Googled it. That is not a word.
Okay. Good. So look up right now, guys. Go to IMDb, go to Ford v Ferrari, and read that so that you know that we're not fucked up. They fucked this up. That's hilarious. American car designer Carroll Shelby and driver Ken Miles battle corporate interference, the laws of physics, and their own personal demons to build a revolutionary race car for Ford and challenge Ferrari at the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 1966.
You know, I feel like we found a reason to read these stupid synopses now because this one fucking sucks.
So we can.
And there's two spelling errors that are not even close.
That's horrible.
So, yeah, listeners, if you have any other IMDb pages that have errors in them, send them our way. We'll just kind of make a tally, a little list here.
We'll send that off to be reviewed.
Can be our contribution to society.
There we go. So, what were your thoughts going into this movie?
Thoughts. First off, I'm way into it. In general, this is a weird thing. I don't know if other people share the same sentiment.
Yeah, you've never said that before, right? I could
give two shits about racing or NASCAR or like cars in general. I'm not like a big car guy.
Yeah, I mean, or
like anything like that, but movie racing, I'm so fucking into, and I love it.
Yeah.
It almost never ends badly. You just like, I don't know. I was thinking about this as I was kind of watching the film, like ranking like the top fictional race car drivers of all time.
Okay.
And this is, this is kind of tough because it's like, you put Christian Bale from Ford v Ferrari.
Yeah.
Versus like Vin Diesel versus like the driver from Drive versus
Baby Driver
versus Will Ferrell, Ricky Bobby.
Yeah.
That's
what about Baby Driver?
Like
You're not gonna put Baby Driver?
This is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like again, like so I was like kind of wondering like, wow, do like people watch like football or like boxing movies that just like hate football or just think football sucks, but they just like they love all football movies? Like,
that's interesting.
Is that a weird concept?
Well, I think that's kind of how it is with baseball for me. Is I love baseball movies. It's very cinematic, but I could give two shits about baseball.
Yeah.
Boxing is very cinematic, and I never really liked boxing that much, but as I've gotten older, I've grown to appreciate boxing quite a bit. Whereas, like, football and movies, since I love football so much, like, that's when I cringe more, and it's actually harder to watch. Like, I hate when they put a football scene in a movie, because it's just
may or may not be the hardest thing to get right in film.
Yeah, totally. There's just way too many moving parts, and it's just so easy to tell when it's fake, and it's just terrible. It's just, more often than not, it's just shit. But yeah, with racing too, I totally agree. Yeah. There's never enough shots of them downshifting to a lower gear,
Oh yeah.
Just do that the entire time. Even in the Phantom Menace, the pod racing scene was fun. Like, even in that shit movie, like, the racing scene was pretty fun.
Less fun, but I'll allow that point.
Whew, that was close.
Racing is good.
You're like the judge. You're like the judge at this. You're like, I'll allow it, but let's be careful now. I'm giving you this one. It's your first warning. Don't challenge me on this.
Yeah. My expectations, they were pretty high. I love Damon. I love Bale. You sprinkle in a little Bernthal. And, it's just kind of like a classic end of the year movie stars being movie stars movie, which we get kind of less and less of, where these guys don't have, like, a cape on, or it's either, like, they have a cape on, or it's a single kind of show where it's just a Manchester by the Sea small budget. There's not a lot. This is a dying breed, I would say, as like a non-franchise middle to biggish film. So I was hyped for it. How about you?
Yeah, I mean the trailers for this were solid. It made sense. It looked pretty cut and dry, clean. Looked like a great movie. So my expectations were pretty high for it as well. Coming out of it, I'll say that I initially thought, it was good. And then really good. And the more I thought about it, I was like, that might have been exactly, beat for beat, second for second, exactly what I thought it was going to be. Which at first I liked. I was like, there we go. That's exactly what I thought it was going to be. That's what it was. Cool. But then the more I thought about it, the more I was like, like, it kind of reminded me of a movie like Shooter. Do you remember Shooter with Mark Wahlberg?
I do remember Shooter.
Like,
that's where he plays the sniper guy, right?
He shoots a
lot of people.
A can, like a can of beef stew at some point. We'll get into soup talk later. But he that's like a movie that's like good. It's like what you want. It's boom, boom, boom. But then, like, the more I think about it, the more like, I don't even know if that's actually like that good of a movie. It's just, I mean, it's like a great movie for plebs. Like, this is like the best picture for plebs out there because it doesn't challenge you. It spoon feeds you everything, and it's just exactly what you want. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad movie, and I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it, but the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I mean, I know they're telling a true story, but it was really like, I feel like this is like, now this might be a hot take. You put this on the movie poster, but I feel like this is like the Black Eyed Peas of movies. Like,
okay,
like it's rock for people that don't like rock. I'm quoting The Office here. It's rap for people that don't like rap, and it's electronic music for people that don't like electronic music. Like, it's just like this really overly produced thing that, like, in a bubble, you're like, yeah, that's fine. Like, that was good. That's what I wanted. But then, like, the more you put it under a microscope, you're like, that was really paint by the numbers. And I feel like the more we get away from it, the more it's like, it's going to be remembered fine because I think it's gotten great reviews. Everybody seems to really like it. And I liked it too for the most part. But I feel like this is a movie in like 5-10 years that's not going to age well. Like, I think that we're going to look back on and be like, wow, that wasn't like that great. Like, for whatever reason, I just have that feeling in my gut that, like, right now it's fine. But I don't know. I don't know. I threw a lot of takes out there.
Yeah, so I mean, I think, but for the most part, I feel like you're describing exactly what they wanted to do. Because exactly like what you're describing is just a crowd pleasing movie, right?
Yep.
And it's coming out at a time when you have families getting together, and if your families are like mine, you want to, the second you get to your family, you want to leave, And so you go see something that everyone's going to want to see.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is that.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I also have a hot take, and I'll throw this at you here.
Okay.
Because let me just ask you this.
Okay.
So Ford versus Ferrari. Okay. Let's just think of like a standard movie. What we come to kind of know in these sort of circumstances when it's something versus something. The classic narrative is the David versus Goliath.
Yeah.
Okay, you have an underdog that overcomes insurmountable obstacles in their way to achieve a goal.
Right.
And what do we have here? We have Ford.
Yeah.
The biggest auto manufacturer in the fucking world.
Yeah. And it's not even close.
Taking on a dying company who is trying to sell to another company who has not only dominated this sport in this race, but it is making art, making beautiful.
Every
beautiful
single
cars.
car is handcrafted.
And you have this disgusting just churn out of this alien car who just comes in and just and fucking ruins the whole thing through what are we gonna do? We're gonna outspend them, we're gonna outbuy them, and that's exactly what happens in this movie. And I'm like, when did we start rooting for the Goliath? Like, what is this bullshit? Like, I'm supposed to believe that Ford is like not gonna do this, that they're not gonna win the race because Henry Ford II is insulted by this guy? Like, come on, give me a fucking break.
Yeah, I totally agree. The moral of the story is, if you have a problem, just throw your money at it. As long as you have enough money, you can just keep throwing money at it until you win. It doesn't matter if you're face somebody who's built their company from the ground up on quality and doesn't make a lot of money because they put so much effort into making the best product, and it doesn't matter. As long as you have enough money and you want it enough, you can buy it. And that's what they did. And it's interesting. I mean, obviously it happened, but it was hard to root against Ferrari. Like, I respected the guy and I respected the company, and Ford played dirty and they cut corners and they and they were pretty shittily run. Yeah. They made a lot of mistakes along the way because, again, it's just the big shitty corporate machine that's trying to churn out this product against the best wishes of the guys that are actually fucking driving the cars. Like, but I mean, honestly though, with that all being said, I didn't hate this movie. Yeah.
And it solely hinges on the performances of mostly Christian Bale here.
Yeah.
I think
he hams it up.
Damon is probably doing the least.
Yeah.
Here. And I think that he's a bit more replaceable again,
like most Matt Damon roles.
Damon can kind of roll out of bed and just play the lovable good-hearted guy who's who needs to lead a team to some MacGuffin.
Yeah.
But the Christian Bale part, and once again, God, thank you, Jesus, for Christian Bale. Like that, if you didn't have at least one person at your Thanksgiving dinner, when you go around the room and everyone says what they're thankful for, thanks, Christian Bale, for the last 15 years of cinema.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I don't know what to say. And I love that he doesn't necessarily like acting either, and he's so good at it. And he doesn't necessarily enjoy it. Like, it's just a job for him. And a direct quote of his that I think about all the time about acting. He's like, when it's good, I like it. When it's bad, I fucking hate it.
Right. And I think that's why we see him more than I think any actor today. even more than I say with like the cream of the cream of the crop. Like I would say even more so than like a Joaquin Phoenix who just put on the Joker makeup and everything like that and transformed his body. I would say that Christian Bale has done this more than any working actor today. Like completely inhabit a new character. Yeah. I mean, there are not a lot of guys that are actually doing this.
Yeah.
And once again, he pulls it off. And I think I just like I applaud him for it.
And he does it in a way that isn't pretentious or isn't super artsy. Like Shia LaBeouf can transform into a character, but he lives that life, and he's just a weird dude. Whereas like Christian Bale just does it like as a job. Like he doesn't think of it as like his life's work or this great piece. He's just doing a job, and it's just like that weird, almost like blue collar feel that you don't really like. I don't know. I feel like you don't really see that as much in today's world, and especially not with someone who's acting that well. Like you said with Matt Damon, it's probably easier to just be like sort of a, like you said, roll out of bed and likable, and do a little bit of a southern drawl, and it's fine. You put on a 10-gallon hat and you're doing it. But like he has to go all out, and Christian Bale. That's a good point. Everyone. I know Thanksgiving is over now, but still, there's still time to be thankful. That doesn't go away. So I would say take some time out of your day and just be thankful that we have Christian Bale in our lives.
I agree. Man. It's good, and it's really only good because of him.
Yeah.
It's not great.
No. It's like a box of Kraft mac and cheese. You know what you're gonna get. It's easy to make. You don't have to put a lot of work into it, and it's good. And it'll feed you. It might not be good for you. I just like to see how we think about this movie in a few years. Like, I don't know, for just some reason, I just think there's going to be like a couple years down the road, people can wake up and be like, wait, I don't think that was that good. Like we all liked it, but then there's going to be some Reddit, article, or not article, but page. That's how much I surf the internet.
Yes.
I don't know the last time I said surf the internet. Boomer. Yeah, thank you. Last time I dialed. Yeah, last time I dialed up.
Honestly, if you hear the words Reddit and article, and that sounds normal or familiar to you, then you are not. Yeah.
I'm such a nerd.
Sorry.
I'm like spying on.
Sorry to break it to you, but Reddit is not a.
Is it not a news? It's not a news website.
No.
What? This whole time.
Turns out.
I thought for sure they were so convincing, and they maybe even cited some of their sources.
Did you see that? News? That new revelation about Jeffrey Epstein?
There's a new report.
On the r/conspiracy tab of Reddit, and
it said this amazing article.
This writer was making some really compelling points.
Yeah. That's like my friend. I really hope he doesn't listen to this, but if he does, what's up, man? I'm not going to say his name. I'm not going to say his name. But I worked at UPS with him, and he's like, he has a son that's our age, so he's like our dad's age, and he was a good dude. We were both Vikings fans. We both bitched about the Vikings on our breaks. But one night, he said he asked me what I thought about the whole flat earth phenomenon. And I was like, I was like, what do you mean? It's fucking the dumbest shit ever. And he's like, well,
hold on.
Yeah, exactly. And he said, he's like, I kind of thought that too. But then I read this, I'm pretty sure he said article. He's like, I read this article. And he's like, I don't know. It just kind of changed my mind on it. So I was like, I respected the guy, and he's my friend, so I didn't want to be like, what the fuck, dude? I was like, okay. And he's like, here, this is the thing. And he sent me the link, and I went to it. And it was literally like the most bonkers alt-right bull. Oh, yeah.
Background.
Just terrible. And like the opening paragraph, like to the website header was like the the main page, the centralized station for decrypting, the myths that our overlords have. Like, literally, I was like, oh my god.
That's how you know you're close.
I read this. It was even more ridiculous than I thought. Like, I thought maybe you would be like, look, I know it's kind of crazy, but here are some things that we think are interesting. No, it was just the most out there shit.
The internet is it's like the Earth's surface where you get down
flat,
to a certain point in the crust and you can just start Control F and Zionism, and you'll just find 7 hits on the page, and you're like, oh yeah, okay, we've made it. This is this is
yeah.
You want to keep living your life as a sheeple?
Yeah. What do you think about 4chan?
Wake up. 4chan was fun, and now it's been ruined
by the alt-right.
Again, along with
they fucking
Pepe
ruined
the Frog, along with countless other memes on the internet. Yeah. Those assholes just...
yeah, I'll say it. Fuck the alt-right. I'll say it.
They tend to... they're not helping the problem.
No, they're kind of a bummer. When an alt-right guy shows up to the picnic, that's when you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, and you get into the QAnon and all the other great stuff out there. But yeah, so that's our review of the internet.
Check it out if you have some time.
And I'll say Ford v Ferrari. It's a worthwhile watch. Again, it's a crowd pleaser. If you're with family, maybe. You celebrate a little later. Who knows? Maybe you have some other holiday out there. This is not going to offend anyone, and it's not going to be an awful time. This is not some shitty stunt celebrity casting movie that is going to make you want to throw up in your popcorn.
Wow.
So yeah, I'll give it a solid. Three bags of popcorn.
It's the first review ever on the L Squared podcast.
Should we? Shit!
I'm not going to review
Let's
it.
Edit that out.
Yeah, wait, so we can't have that on here. Yeah, it's fine. I think you brought up probably the best point of just this is sort of the most non-offensive, good movie, good time. Everybody's gonna like it. That definitely has a place, and you're right. But you know what movie I'd rather see over Thanksgiving to get away from my family that has themes of having a shitty family and not always getting along with them?
What's that?
Knives Out.
Knives Out.
That's
it.
That's all I had to say.
That's it.
That's it. Go see it.
See it.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for listening.
You were able to see Knives Out this weekend?
Yeah, I did. All by myself. Awesome. Word up. As per the usual.
Even better without your crazy family.
That's right. It was much better.
If you can, just leave them at home.
Yeah, okay? That's probably the best option in most things.
Double feature.
Not just holidays. Okay? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Knives Out was
pick and choose. Pick and choose who you want. If you have 2 or 3 people in your immediate family, you're hey, let's go see a movie. Fuck these other people. Let's go. Let's have a good time. Yeah.
I agree.
That's what I did.
Yeah, I mean, I wish that you and I were in the same family.
Yeah. We did a double feature. Honey Boy, Knives Out. Boom, boom.
Fuck you.
Okay, get a little ramen in the middle.
Yep.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
I went to Knives Out. I was waiting in line, to go get my ticket. And then sitting down, I looked around. I was like, wow, everyone is with family. They're either with, their parents or their cousins or whatever. Literally, I could hear them all talking. It was a small theater. It's like, man, I'm the only one who's by himself right now. And, it was great. It didn't make me sad at all. It's good. I'm glad I could cut all these people out of my life with a knife, having my knife out. Tried the segue, didn't really work. This was one of my most anticipated of the year, and I just hoped it would be good. Whodunit from Rian Johnson directed a little ditty called Star Wars: The Last Jedi, and this was kind of that movie obviously made all kinds of money, all the money there was to make. And so this was his next movie of like, they're basically, well, whatever you want to do, and you can do that. And he did this. And it was great. Honestly, it was better than I thought it would be. Like, I thought it would be good, but I didn't expect it to be this good. Yeah, it blew me away. What did you think about it?
So I classically I really enjoy these films, the whodunits in general, the get everyone in the same room and just kind of let them cook. I will say, other than Daniel Craig's accent in this movie, it was near flawless.
Yeah.
Because his accent is appalling and hilarious, and I thought it was going to be some sort of. I thought it was going to be like part of the bit.
Yeah.
Or somehow, or like he was like on scene the whole time, or he had like some alternate character that he was going to jump into after, because I thought it was so atrocious.
Like Tim Roth in Hateful Eight.
Yeah, or he's just gonna like all of a sudden he's gonna like he's gonna like Kevin Spacey, Kaiser Sose, like he no longer has a limp. Like I don't know what it was supposed to be, but
like Tim Roth in Hateful Eight. I'm gonna say it again, just because he started out that because I don't think you remember much about that movie. Because when the movie started, he had that very it seemed like he was doing Christoph Waltz impression. It was weird, and then halfway through, after he got shot, it just devolved. He went back to his normal self, with just like a low class Cockney accent. It was great. Okay, continue.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I have no idea why he couldn't just be a British investigator.
Yeah, I mean, do you remember what was the Steven Soderbergh one that came out, Logan Lucky, a couple years ago? And he tried
doing the same thing
he
too.
tried like a southern accent. It wasn't it wasn't as good as this, which sounds terrible. But
he kind of steals the movie in that one. And because it's supposed to be like
a ridiculous
that bad. You know, it's like a trailer trash kind of. But this is like high concept.
It was like a
aristocrat.
It was like a cartoon character, basically.
He was like, I feel like he's like, you know what? It's like when we do the stupid, like, I don't really know.
Yeah, I don't really know. Yeah.
Like he thought like he's like, you know what? I kind of like, I feel like I nailed it in Logan Lucky, and I'm gonna
double
step it
down.
up. I'm going off the deep end now. I'm gonna really fucking go for it this next time.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was hilarious. I thought it was a joke the whole time.
Well, and I guess
it was so funny that it actually added a lot to the movie. I thought it was it made it that much more enjoyable.
Yeah, I did too. Like you really didn't know, and it didn't bother me. Like it didn't make it bad. It was I agree. I think it added a different kind of flavor to it.
Yeah. We're not going to spoil it here because I feel like it's a worthwhile film, and we can maybe spend some more time on it at the end of the year if it happens to be one of our favorite films, maybe in one of our top 10 lists. But I'll just say I really enjoyed this film. All the performances are really good. I love Chris Evans playing a dick.
Yeah, that's fun to see.
I feel like it's so funny, like watching some of these bigger names after they're kind of like they've paid their dues and they've been fucking Captain America for 15 years, and they just can't wait to either do like full frontal nudity or just like fucking just be shitty on screen, and just kind of shed that whole stereotype that follows them, and it's cool when they can do it. He's great. My love, my spirit animal, the goddess, my queen, Toni Collette.
I thought you were gonna say Lakeith Stanfield.
Him too. Rapper, actor. Toni Collette. She didn't get a ton of playing time here. She's only really out there for a couple of scenes, but man, she's like just throwing 100. Like her eyes are like just.
They'll throw you back. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. Our guy back. I feel like is Don Johnson officially back?
Yeah, he is. I don't know.
Kitchen Coke Don Johnson.
I don't know why he was gone for so long, but he's back.
He's back, and I was like, I want him like every 4 months.
Yeah.
In something big now.
Yeah, and he's better. I think he's better than ever, and he just does that perfect smirking, like kind of harmless asshole. It's just like he does that so well, and he's so fucking good,
yeah,
good looking.
He's
too.
like, he's like probably a shitty guy, but he's definitely like not shitty enough to kill anybody.
Yeah.
Or at least you don't think, you're like, really? Like, if like maybe if he did, like he was definitely someone else is pulling the strings. Like, and he just like nails that so well. I want to say a little something too. Ana de Armas. Did you recognize her? I had to Google it, so I'm not going to say it. I'm film buff. I know everyone on screen, but I knew I was like so close to it. But did you recognize her from anything else?
It took
she
me.
Played the Marta character, the main.
Yeah. It took me about 3/4 of the way through, and I was like, "Is that Joy?"
Boom.
Yes. Blade
Ana de Armas. I think now would be a good time if you had some capital, some extra chunk chains laying around that you wanted to buy a little stock.
Well, I think that
Ana de Armas.
I have quite a bit because I bought in on Brie Larson pretty quick, and I sold that after Captain Marvel, so I made out pretty good. So I have.
So you got out. So you think Brie is kind of peaking a little bit?
Yeah, I think that she's kind of had her. I think she's. I'm debating. I've been going over with my finance guy. I'm thinking about a short sell, just because I feel like now I don't know. I feel like she's gotten her Oscar and she's kind of peaked. And I want to get out before she has her Jennifer Lawrence downwards fall. You know.
Okay.
So I'm ready to put some capital in Ana de Armas.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, Brie Larson isn't the only one that we've been ahead of. Yeah. I feel like here on the pod, but I'm all the way in.
Okay.
I thought she was great in this, and she's like not quite at that fame level yet, where she's like super recognizable. Where you're like, oh my god, that's so and so, and it takes away from the character they're portraying. So it's like that perfect sweet spot, and if you get a couple breaks here and there, like who knows? So she's great as the lead. Everyone else, the supporting cast is spot
I want to say
great.
2 things. One, I love Michael Shannon. I love Michael Shannon to death. Anything Michael Shannon's
10 fingers in this film.
All 10 of them made an appearance.
Yeah.
And like, I like that he in this movie played a character that wasn't like. Usually he plays a pretty stern, strong character. Even when he's evil, he's kind of a force. But in this one, he was sort of fronting, but he was really just kind of a weakling. Just kind of he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, he's and his dad's like, that guy's fucking just a bitch.
Yeah, exactly. And I
write him and he wraps him in silicone paper for me.
Yeah. I love that character, and I love that his kid is an alt-right kid. So is his wife. Yes. And it's like, what? Where does that come from? But I will say, the guy who maybe stole the show for me, just a couple of scenes that he was in, was Frank Oz as the lawyer. Just out of nowhere, I was like, whoa.
Really?
A little bit. I mean, I don't know if I'd go that far, but it was just
that did it for you.
It did. I was like, that's so fucking good. I loved it.
Interesting.
That's Yoda himself. Yeah, I know. Wow. It just out of nowhere, I was like, fucking Frank Oz, man. And he was great.
Okay.
Every scene he was in, it was just I could not get enough of that. I was perfect. Okay. And maybe if he was in it more, it would take it away from me, but I'm close to saying he might have stole it for me above all these with just that tiny little part. I loved it.
Okay. Good. Well, you know what? I think this one's worthwhile. It's a really good time. It should be enjoyed in theaters, and talk about a great excuse to get away from your family. Go visit a shittier one.
Yeah, be thankful.
And be thankful
that you're not part of this family.
Yeah. Be thankful for another non-sequel, non-franchise, as far as we know.
As far as we know. Knives Out, too.
Knives In. Swords Out.
Even more Knives Out.
Knives Out, Guns In.
Right. Don't bring a Knives Out to a gun out fight.
Perfect. Yeah, that's a great one to end on.
Well, on that note, thank you for listening. Let us know which movie you want to see, which one you have seen, which ones you liked, which ones you hated. Tell us how much you hate old legs and how much his takes annoy you. I love to hear that every time. But you can check me out on Twitter at LukeLarson89. You can find this podcast at L Squared Podcast on Twitter, on Instagram. We're on Facebook at L2 Podcast. We're on SoundCloud. We're on YouTube. Check us out, give us a like, let us know that we're your favorite show and how much you hate old legs.